Alright guys, so we are doing kind of a cleanup here. The storm isn't quite over, but we got a couple inches of snow and a little bit of sleet, some freezing rain right now. So I get a lot of questions about like tips on how you plow with a loader and just like general plowing tips. So I figured I'd make a little video here. Hopefully this audio is good. I got a little microphone, so hopefully it's better than usual for you. Well, I got you here. We got Dirt Ninja hats, winter hats. We got sweatshirts, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, ball caps, mugs, stickers, all sorts of stuff. So that you can find at thedirtninja.com. Link is down there in the description of the video. So we're doing a lot here. Cleaning up against the curb, helping the shovelers out. So I guess I'll start with, on a commercial site, usually there's only certain places that you can pile the snow. So a lot of you comment and say, oh, you back up too much. Well, I've only got certain spots in each parking lot that I'm allowed to put the snow, and that's for two reasons. One is the client, so the business park here has their designated snow areas, and then big thing about where to make piles is if they're uphill or downhill of a parking lot. So you never want to try, obviously sometimes you have to, but you never want to try and pile snow on the uphill side of a parking lot, and that is because when it melts, it obviously goes downhill. And then every night when it gets below freezing, it freezes. So every morning you gotta come and salt that runoff. So piling snow on the downhill side is always key. Sometimes the piles, aren't in the most efficient place to put the snow, but sometimes that's what you gotta do on these commercial sites. So if you're in a loader just starting out, one of the biggest things is you never want to try and push over an already cleared area. So you gotta have a determined plan for each parking lot, and each one is different on how you do it. So generally, obviously, if it's a new site, it's going to take you a couple storms to figure out the best way to push a lot. But I would say typically after 4 storms at the most, you should have that lot down pretty well and know the most efficient way to push it. So like here, there's all these little entrances to the parking lot. So I'm pushing them in before I do the big parking lot here that I'm pushing into, because if I cleared the parking lot first and then did these, obviously I'd be pushing it in, and then I'd be pushing it down the end to the left here, and I would be pushing over already cleared spots. So you don't want to do that for 2 reasons. One, obviously it's inefficient, so it'll slow you down. And 2 generally depends on what type of pusher you have, but the more times you push over an area, the more likely you are to have buildup of hard pack, which is hard to get rid of. So you should always be thinking about what is the quickest way to do these things. Obviously, if you fly by the hour, just ignore everything I'm saying. So down here is the low end of the parking lot, so there is a couple spots we got to put snow up top, or we're allowed to. So I kind of take advantage of that. We're scraping the aisleway here up against the building. So this is kind of like a final scrape, I would call it. And I do different things depending on the time of day. So right now it's 4 a.m. This place, generally people start getting in around, I don't know, between 6 and 7. So obviously you have to have it open for the morning commute. So you need to time up your storms, because if it's still snowing or precipitating like it is right now, you want to scrape as close to that opening time. So as you're doing your first couple scrapes on a job or at a site, you know, you'll figure out how long it takes you. So here, if there's only an inch of snow, it only takes me 45 minutes to scrape this entire place, and then kind of goes up from there. So I kind of anticipated this taking me about an hour and a half. I started at 3. It's almost 4. So I only got 2 parking lots left, so I think I'll be right on target for that. I do have to go to another site, so that's why I'm a little early. You're doing your math in your head. But let's just say this was the middle of the night and we had 9 inches of snow coming. Don't be all fancy and clean up every corner like I am now. You know, I wouldn't even waste my time pushing in those little entrances there that I did if this was a big storm. Just trying to bulk the snow off in the big storms and just keep up with it. Doesn't really matter if you're making everything clear. And in the big storms, even like the parking lots here, like obviously I'm not going to leave any windrows, but I'll just open the blade right up. You know, pretty wide. And if I leave windrows, who cares? It's about moving the most amount of snow as you possibly can in the quickest amount of time. But when you're doing final cleanup like this, you can't leave any windrows, so it does take you a little bit longer. But here, like, I can't push this way. I can't pile a ton of snow up here, so you gotta back up. that's what I like about this pusher is I can keep the left-hand side here a little bit more of an angle, and then the right-hand side spread out more. And what that does is, as the blade fills up, it causes the snow to spill out on that side rather than the left-hand side. So I keep working the snow in this direction. With a regular pusher, you know, you can't adjust the sides, so the more you can control the snow with your blade, the better. And that's why this one is so awesome. So here we got a fire hydrant. Obviously you got to be mindful of that. We lost a little snow as we went around the corner. So then here I've got a bunch of little entrances on this side as well. So every parking lot's different, so it's hard for me to tell you exactly what to do. But I think you can kind of see. So like here, I come in and I'll push it out in. Then on my next pass down, I'll grab it, put it in the pile. And obviously if there's cars here, you got to approach that a little differently. Generally during storms, just trying to keep the aisleways open so people can get in and out of work. Obviously the main entrance, the main road. So you got to approach that a little bit differently, and obviously there's cars. He fell off the window. That always happens. The heating element's on the back window, so I can never get a good suction grip on there. But if there's cars, you obviously have to deal with those, because like there's parking spots here. So you might not be able to put snow where you normally put it. It's just what happens. You do want to be aware of sight lines when you're piling snow. So here, I'm about, I don't know, 8 feet back from the curb line there with this pile, which is fine, because you got to remember, people in cars are coming in and out of here, not in a loader sitting up real high. So if you give them enough room to nose out and then they can see, you're good to go. next parking lot. I'm gonna do the road first. Even like here, it all depends on how much your machine can push, how much snow there is. But there's no need for me to push that all the way to the pile. I know it's only saving me 30 feet, but probably saves me a couple seconds. That's what it's all about. The seconds add up. So here, just doing the other side. And then when I come in, just grab the whole pile. And push it up. This is, I believe, secondary fire access, so I can't pile any snow at the end here. So you gotta back drag it. So going into the next parking lot, pretty much everything has to go down that end. So there are exits from this parking lot over here, but they align with the other ones. So rather than take the time to like push all those in here or out into the road that I just did, when I do these, I just take them both. Take them down the end. All these things you just learn from experience, so if you're just starting out, you'll figure it out. Just be smart about it, think about how you're doing it. Every time you cross over an area or you push over an area that you've already pushed, I know I realize that I'm doing that here, but not that big of a deal. It does save you time, but every time you cross over an area you've already pushed, think about how could I have done that and only scraped that area once. And then when you guys, like here, start a lot, on this one, I actually open up 2 widths wide here. That's why this pile is so big. So that I can back up and go straight on each one. I could back up and then go like this on each one on an angle in, but especially with a conventional pusher, as you go around a corner, you lose the width of the pusher. With the angle plow like this, I can do it, but it's just easier to do it this way. So now what I'll do here is I'll readjust the pusher so it's on a little bit of an angle to the right. Put that one out wide, this one in a little bit. I do want to carry most of the snow. Oh, some bad spots in these parking lots. So here I'm going to be at another entrance to the lot. So I'll just go right across. So here I want to carry the snow across the parts I've already done, so I'll keep the plow in. It's all about eliminating going over areas multiple times. While also using as much plow as possible, because the more you use, the faster you clear it. So with a regular pusher, here I probably have to only take like half pushes. But here I can take almost full pushes and keep all the snow, or keep no snow from spilling out on the left-hand side. So it all depends on your pusher that you're using. And I try not to back over areas that I haven't plowed yet. Doesn't really matter with a metal edge plow. Usually you can scrape it up. If you have a rubber edge plow, every time you drive over, especially if it's a wet, heavy snow, you're going to pack it down. Going to just make it harder for yourself to clean up. So try not to drive over areas that you have yet to plow. So obviously I have a pretty efficient plow for doing this, but it's really all about how you use it. Because I could use this plow and just not be any more efficient than somebody in a regular conventional plow. So it's all about using it efficiently, learning your site, learning your plow, and then using it properly. Because I don't know, let's see. On the the camera it's been 25 minutes, so it's gonna be a little bit longer video, but basically 25 minutes we've cleared 2 pretty big parking lots. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. If you got any tips or tricks for some people, maybe make some comments down in the section below. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested in some of this merch, don't forget to check that out. Thanks, guys.